like when it comes to examination, so there are a lot of things that comes in the mind. And every time we try to attempt any kind of exam, right, we face issues. Now, we have to understand one thing, right? When it comes to mathematics or any part of examination. So one rule, right, which mathematics has set is about saying the solution to any problem. So whenever you are having any problem, you don't have to see outside of the problems or anywhere, under the problem, over the problem. You don't run around the problems. Like mathematics says, it is applicable for everything, right? Mathematics says the solution to any problem lies inside the problem, right? Like we had the question for science, like if there is, right, any kind of questions, how we need to attempt. So the first and the foremost thing I would always suggest is, right, keep reading the questions and understand the question 2-3 times, because if there is a right problem inside that, it is going to have the solution. So now, for exams, like what we are going to do now is we are going to understand how magically, right, we can work for our system or any part. When you say that you want to clear exam at the first go, you don't have to worry about anything. You just want to go. What would you do when you have to, right, get into an examination hall? What generally happens is, right, I'm just first I need if I have to go to the center, I'll just figure out the center. Previous day everything is fine, but 10 minutes before this, right, exam starts, I reach the hall and I start working. Now understand one thing, right? It takes away, right, at least 15 to 20% of your marks. So what you need to do, right? You need to have something called as, right, a proper planning. Now, how would you do this proper planning? The first thing, right, you will always, right, do is, right, one night before your exams. Whenever your exam is, one night before your exams, right, be prepared for everything. Now, when it comes to clothes, so if you understand, a lot of times when we wear, right, we try to wear new things, new shoes, new clothes, right, and then go to the exams. So possibility of your body adjusting to the clothes and all, it's not there. Now what happens is, because like you're more conscious about your clothes, not the exam, right, you're likely to lose things. So when you leave your house, before you leave your house, right, 1 hour before, what you need to do, right, you need to check all your tools. Like if you're wanting books, whether the books, whatever subject you're studying, it's very important. There are some times when happens like we study science and we reach, right, for mathematics exams. So that should not happen. So we need to be clear with our books. We need to be clear, like, okay, the pens are in working condition, the pencils are in working conditions, we have the compass box ready. And in case, right, there are some exams where, right, even calculators are allowed. Like when you go to your senior, right, engineering exams and all, there would be calculators allowed. Now this rule is applicable for any exam. So what you're going to do is, right, 1 hour before you will prepare everything. You'll ensure that everything is on set line, right? So here, if you understand one thing, anytime, right, keep some cash with you, because cash is one kind of confidence booster. Apart from all these things, so sometimes it might happen that like you are right either running late or you miss pens, right? If you plan it properly, it's not going to happen. But then if you are like, if you have to go and buy pen suddenly, if you have to go in an auto rickshaw, like rather than taking the bus to the center, all these things, when the money is there in the pocket, it gives you extra confidence. Now, keep that as a part of it, right? Now, you have to reach your exam location before 1 hour. Always remember that. Like if the exam is at 10 a.m., you have to be at the center at 9 a.m. Take 10-15 minutes time, right, to locate one spot where nobody is going to disturb you. You know, if you reach 2 hours early, that's fine. But if you're reaching 1 hour early, 15 minutes, right, just find a spot. It might be a corner. And after that, all you need to do is keep quiet. Not to talk to anybody, right? If somebody comes and says, hi, how are you? You just smile and go ahead, right? You don't work for, you just keep silent and keep thinking or recollecting whatever you have studied. Don't worry about what's happening around the world, who is doing what, right? If they're discussing some things, don't worry about all those aspects, because when you do all those things, your focus actually shifts from the exam, which is not a great thing to do. So 45 minutes to 1 hour, just keep quiet, right? Like we say, Maun Rath, take the Maun Rath. Don't worry about anything, right? Reach your center and don't open your books also, right? It's only the mind should be working during this hour. And more importantly, right, you have to remain silent. Silence is the most important thing here. And silence is what going to create magic. Now, how it is going to create magic is when your mind is silent, it starts recollecting and connecting with all the different minds around, right? It needs to be silent. So when it starts connecting, so when you're near the examination center, everybody is studying, everybody is thinking something. But if you're silent, you're absorbing everything. And when you're absorbing, your mind is absorbing everything, it will start giving you, right, magically those questions that are going to come in the exams. It will give you solutions to those questions those are going to come in the exams, because that's how silence works. Every thought that comes into the process, it just adds on to things. It just remember that it is going to be the key. So silence is the key. Remember that. So now what we are going to do is we are going to do a small exercise, because as you all know, right, for this, right, webinar, we will also have a quiz that will be sent to you. But before we send you the quiz, what we want to do is this, right? We want you to understand. Now we will keep 2 minutes of silence, right? And let's see after 2 minutes of silence, right, what happens. In this 2 minutes, what you need to do is you need to just recollect, right, what was told during this, right, the entire webinar, whatever was told, right, and just try to recollect. And it will also give you the questions that are going to come in the quiz, you know. So we will time it out, try and recollect everything that was told in the last 1 hour during this presentation. And from there, we will take it to the quiz part of it. Okay, so the time starts now. Okay, so let's go. Vivek, can you put me on to the next slide? So we were talking about the quiz. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to have a look at the next slide, which is going to be the questions that are going to be asked for the quiz. And I want you to see those questions and think for yourself that whether these questions, any of these questions, or how many of these questions just came up onto your mind during the last 2 minutes when you were silent and you were just recollecting what was happening. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, Vivek. So, did you notice that the questions that were coming onto your mind, right, were among these questions only?
Yes, sir.
So that's how magical things are. Now, everybody who is in the examination hall, right, is thinking about different parts of the exams, right? Different things that they have studied. Now, for example, let's take an example that you have prepared it part by part. You have not prepared it fully, right? But then during the last 1 hour, you try to read everything that is available in the world. on the book. You just keep on, right, juggling through the pages. Nothing is going to happen. But on the other hand, right, you just go to one corner, remain silent for that 1 hour, right? Recollect whatever you might have read in the last 6 months' time about the topic. You will see that there would be some questions, right, which you would have read, right, maybe 3 months back. It would automatically come back to your mind. And the same questions will, right, appear into your examination and you will be able to answer. So the research actually shows that this is one of the best thing that happens during the exams. And a lot of students who are not able to get all this because when they are into the examination hall, one, they are discussing what is happening, what is going to happen, what questions do you think it will come? Do you have any important questions? Do you have these? Right? All this discussion happens. But then only those people who remain silent score the highest. So anything happens, nothing, you don't need to discuss it with anybody. You don't need to. Same way, once you complete your exam, while you're coming back home, the major mistake that happens is you start discussing the question paper. And when you start discussing the question paper, you start giving yourself some marks. Now, when you start giving yourself some marks, for example, you are supposed to get 99. And then because of right discussion, you're getting 96. The next day, the exam, whatever exam that is going to be affected because you're going to think more about the 2 marks or 3 marks that you have lost during the last exam, which anyway, you can't do anything about it. So after your exams, do not discuss the question paper. After every exam is over, discussion is the part that needs to be done. Okay. So I hope like once you're right going to the exams, right, get the best out of yourself. So just enjoy your exams, get things in. And anything that you want to discuss with us with regards to right taking your tuitions or taking your courses or understanding any kind of topics, right? You have all the links. We will also send you those links, right? And we will take care of you for that. Okay. So I'll leave you up to you, and any questions, anything that you have now, you can ask, or what we can do is we can discuss it over the right email, and any questions you have, we can discuss it over the phone as well. So anybody has any questions? Okay, well then, thank you for joining us for this webinar. I hope this was all helpful for you, and right, you can share this. We will shortly share the link for the quiz as well as the link for the recording, right? You go attempt your exams, and then right, once you submit the quiz, right, we will also provide you the certificate for the same. So let's see how everybody performs, and we believe that we will see you soon. And anytime, any questions you have, feel free to contact us by any of the media. But don't forget, right, you just need to go, if you're on any of the social media, right, just go like, share, subscribe, whatever you need to do, just get onto our page so that we can keep you updated for everything that we have. Every week, whatever webinars we have, we'll keep you posted for that. Thank you very much, and see you all soon.